am super excited to be talking to Hayley Lowe this morning. And I think it's quite perfect timing that we're doing these client transformational stories as we're in lockdown, because let's face it, a lot of us, we could come out of lockdown two different ways. And the funny part is I always get asked to go on national news straight after lockdown to talk about how we could have not put on weight, how we could feel healthier, and how we could feel better at the end. So if we actually thought about this at the beginning and strategized, probably be a good plan. But the reason why I wanted to do these client transformational series is a lot of people feel really alone when they're going through their health journey. They don't know what's normal. They don't know what to expect. And they blame themselves. Women especially think that they could be doing things more, they could be working harder, or they just keep beating themselves up. So I thought it'd be really fun to bring clients along for the journey, because it's one thing for me to tell you, but it's a whole another thing when clients tell you firsthand. So I'm super excited to have Hayley Lowe with me right now. So Hayley, tell us, what inspired you to start on your health journey?
Well, I mean, I'd have to go quite backwards to talk about that. My whole
Start wherever you like.
Yeah, my whole journey through childhood was all about being in a family where weight was an issue, and where it was something really important, where look and how you were and how you was perceived was the big thing. So I spent my childhood going through diets with my family. I was put on Jenny Craig when I was about 14 or 15. And I was always made to feel like I was fat. I was always made to feel like I wasn't good enough, all those things. And so for me, I just gave up dieting. I gave up everything probably about 20 years ago.
But Hayley, just on that note, just to stop you, you're showing me photos, and we've had a great time looking at these photos. Just to give everyone else context, when you showed me the photos from your childhood, you're not even overweight. Like, you're a happy, happy, filled with energy, beautiful child that I saw photos of, and you showed me the photos just to give me context as well. And you really weren't overweight. There was not a problem. You were just a happy young girl living her best life.
I think I was compared to other people, and I wasn't the super skinny kind of child. I was just a healthy child. And I got the mantra in my head that I was fat. And so I think kept telling myself that. And so it just kept happening. I got bigger and bigger. I met my husband probably 20 odd years ago, and he's, bless him, loves me as I am. And he's like, just diets don't work. He didn't want me to diet. I was sick of dieting. And I just gave up. And then my weight has just stabilized, and I haven't really, in the last 20 years, didn't really gain much weight or anything, but noticed that my health wasn't as good as it could have been. So for me, hearing people talking about you and how you'd help them and things like that made me sort of question where I was at. To put it in another context, I thought I was fine. I actually thought that I was all right. I was just intrigued. What's this woman got to offer? Yeah. And I'd had two kids 13 months apart, and none of them slept through the night. Neither of them slept until they were just over two. I had my own business with staff. My husband travelled backwards and forwards to Australia every 2 weeks for a whole year. I had so much stuff going on, but I felt really terrible. But as soon as they started sleeping, as soon as things started, getting a little bit better, I thought, God, I feel so much better than what I did back then. I feel really good. And so I just thought that was normal. I didn't actually realise, and it wasn't until I've been working with you for a wee while that I look back and go, holy hell, actually, how did I cope? I remember you saying to me one day when you looked at my blood tests and said, oh my God, Hayley, how are you coping? How have you got any energy? I'm like, I've got plenty of energy. I'm fine.
Hayley,
I've got energy.
As a mum, as a wife, as a business entrepreneur, you're just like every other client that walks through the door. Most clients sit and look at me, and unless they're fatigued, really can't get out of bed, they're like, I've got great energy. And dead straight, that's what they say to me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, let's see what your adrenals come back saying. Because there's very few people that walk through the doors telling me, unless they're really sick, that they don't have great energy.
Well, certainly true in this case. Yeah. And it wasn't, it's quite funny when you look back on where you've come and actually see how far you've come and how far you've changed, and actually seeing how unhealthy I was. And the exciting thing is I'm feeling really great now, but I know that I'm probably not even halfway through my journey yet. So, I'm just excited about how I can come from here and where the next stages are going to take me. Recently I've noticed that I've been standing in the kitchen and I can focus on cooking and dinner, and I'm getting quite excited about it, and steps I can take them, think about what's happening next. Whereas I think back to even 3 or 4 months ago, when I'd be standing and I feel like I'm in an absolute phase, I had brain fog, but I didn't even know I had it.
Totally. You just think, like, so many moms come to me, they're like, oh, it's just because I'm a mom, like, and I'm like, okay, well, how long? Like, they'll be like, it's baby brain. And I'm like, okay, so how old's your youngest child? And they'll be like 10, 12. I'm like, it's not baby brain anymore. Like, we went out of that phase a long time ago. But Hayley, on that note too, with the brain mental clarity, when you first came to see me though, what did we say about food? Like, was I even allowed to touch your diet? Really? Were we even going near it?
Oh, no, food was probably a big no-no. That was a lot to do with my husband, actually, to be honest, because he's very much that no dieting and not allowed to change the diet and things, because he didn't want me. He knows what I've been through in my childhood, and he didn't want me to have, it's not that he's a nasty person or anything. It's just that he didn't want me to feel like I was suffering or changing or doing something, that he loved me as I am. And it was a big part. And so you were actually great with that, because you said, we don't have to change the diet. It's quite interesting because I decided to go the pills route and taking lots of supplements and things. And when I realized how low I was on zinc, magnesium, my thyroid was out, oh my goodness, low on vitamin D, what other things, Shelley? It's low on everything. My adrenals were out. Liver, gut.
But you were healthy, hey, Hayley?
Vitamin B.
You're so healthy.
Yeah, I was so healthy. So healthy. But I think the change, we're talking about food, and it's so, I've known you for a wee while now. I've been on retreat with you. I've done so we've done one-on-one sessions and things like that. And each time I pick up something a little bit different. I'm starting the 21-day detox. And even last night on the Zoom call, I learned more things about my poos. There's all these things that are coming up all the time. I'm going, that's another piece of the puzzle. That's another piece. And I think if you had like a really short journey with you, then you don't actually pick up all those cues.
Totally.
Like, for me, I think, well, I've been with you for probably a year and a half now. And I think I'm not actually, it's taken me, I'm on 46, something like that. It's taken me 40 years to get to this place. So it's going to take me, if it takes me 3 years to get out, to me, that's a bonus. And it's a lifelong change. It's something that I can feel that I've done. And the more I learn from you as the time goes on, the better I can be. And my point I was going back to originally, like bringing things in like organic food into the family. I'm getting a lot of resistance because they don't, why are we going all this healthy stuff, and everything in New Zealand's healthy anyway? Excuse me. Why do we need to go down this track? All the healthy vegetables, things like that. But I'm getting a little bit in there. We're getting a little bit of resistance coming through.
And Hayley, from me, like obviously seeing you as a client and then doing retreats with you and doing the things that we do together, just watching the progression from when you basically said to me, I don't necessarily love cooking. I don't want to spend a lot of time in the kitchen, which is where a lot of clients come from. So I totally get it, because to be perfectly honest, in my banking days, I hated cooking too. Absolutely hated it. It's not my natural strength. And to the point that I had a client recently tell me, she was like, Shelley, like, I really love your Instagram post with your recipes. And she said, like the baseline of them's pretty good, but we could spice them up and take them to the next level. And I was like, she said it in such with sweet honesty and stuff. And I said, it's perfect. I'm so happy that you find the baseline recipe easy, because that's great for majority of my clients. And if you want to make them even better and you want to shine, you go shine and you add your touch, because that brings me the greatest joy. But the reality is the baseline of them is easy for all of us. And that's what you've experienced. Like, I remember we didn't even, like, the things that you've picked up from being with me and retreats and stuff. Like, now we've got you, without me even saying it, you just watching and learning and being in my world to some degree. We've got you with the Ace Biopot. You've changed your water. You've got homegrown veggies. Now you're organic veggies. You're eating, like, you always liked veggies, but, like, I was looking, recently, I had to submit Hayley for a case study for my qualifications. And I was looking at her food diary, like the very first one, when she was snacking and, like, there wasn't a lot of vegetables throughout the day, like you always had them in your evening meals. And I was like, she has totally, for somebody that didn't want to focus on food, we've just subtly planted the seed. And every single time, because this food diary is very different to the one that she first came to me with.
Actually, yeah, you've just made me realize that. I didn't actually realize I changed it that much. I suppose it just happened because it's a natural thing rather than something that I've been pushing and forcing. I must admit, this 21-day detox is going to be interesting.
Well, but Hayley, on the note of it not forcing, that is what good health is. Because once you understand it, once you get empowered, once it just becomes little by little, implementing small changes, you don't lose it, because now you know how good you feel. You don't actually want to compromise your health because you've done it so subtly. And so it's not like a diet where it's been transformational overnight. You have done it step by step, that, like, your family is now responding because you've implemented it so subtly that now it's taken on huge changes, which is so exciting. And you've done so well.
Yeah, I'm feeling excited that where I've come and how I'm feeling now.
And
it's
Hayley,
really cool.
Can you tell us what you shared with me once again when we were talking about you being my case study? How did you wake up in the morning a couple of years ago in terms of pain in your body?
Yeah, I'd forgotten all about that. It's
Never client, Hayley. You always forget. It's
yeah.
Enough.
I used to wake up and just sort of ease myself out of bed, and it used to take me a good sort of 15, 20 steps before I'd actually get my almost my balance back, because my ankles were so sore. So there was, it used to be like a splitting pain that would come through my feet. And thinking, oh my God, I feel like I'm 60, not 40. It was quite as strong. And I'd forgotten completely about that. So huge difference in that regard. And even now, I sort of think, even this morning I got out of bed and thought, it's not a problem. Like, it feels really good, sleeping well, all those things.
And from your understanding, I am putting you on the spot, so it's okay if you can't link this together.
Sorry.
Why would you now be able to get out of bed with, like, good movement in your ankles? Like, why aren't they sore anymore?
Because I've been looking after, the inflammation and things that has come down. Yeah, what you've taught me about, even, the things that made me think, oh, wow, that fat is not actually fat, it's inflammation. It's that my body's blowing itself up because there's things in it that it doesn't want, the toxins, the molds, the metals, all those things. And it's like, oh, I'm not just a fat person. I'm actually somebody who's been coping with all this heavy load that my body doesn't actually want. And it's actually showing me that it doesn't want this stuff anymore, and it's going, can't you see that there's issues here that need to be solved? And so, the inflammation and all those things that with the joint pain and things, you're changing my diet and shifting things like, I think we worked out that I couldn't eat the nightshades, tomatoes, potatoes, things like that. And I removed them from my diet for must have been a couple of months while my body sorted itself out. And it was something that I really wanted to do because you could see the difference. So it was,
It's rewarding, right? Like, isn't the journey rewarding?
And I love it how you muscle test and you go, well, it's not just all the nightshades. Like, it was, I could still eat, some of them, I think. And then there was others that was like, no, you can't have that one, Hayley. I'm like, damn it. Yeah.
Gross, where it was like non-negotiable. I think chili. Did chili get to stay in for you?
Something like that. Well, chili's is a good one for me.
Yeah, there was something. Hayley, what else? What would you like to, if you could share something to help somebody else along the journey? Because that's really why you've shown up today, to help me, like, help others. Because you're now so passionate about it and you've seen the difference. What is the thing that you would want to share with other people, or what's been the most rewarding thing for you, or one thing that surprised you the most?
probably didn't know how good I could feel. It was, I think it's being curious, turning up, what can good health look like? What is it that our bodies are trying to tell us? And just be curious, find out how you can improve. What is it, 1 or 2 steps that you can take to make your life easier, to make yourself feel better? Biggest tips for me personally, it's understanding my body.
Totally. And that's the thing keeps on giving.
Yeah, our bodies, we're so intuitive with what our body needs, and following a system and things, you're always telling us to to tune in, and showing us different ways that we can work out what's going on for us. That I don't see you as a guru that I have to be around for the next 30 years. I'm hoping to sorry, Shelley. I'm hoping to get my health sorted so that I don't need you anymore. I can still, catch up with you, maybe, You're
allowed your annual checkup, Hayley. Surely I get you into such good health and empower you that you don't need me. That's me living my best dream.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's, the ultimate goal, where I'd like to be that, I'm at my stage where even now I'm feeling really good, but how am I going to stop? No. I'm feeling heaps better. I've got much more energy. I've got, I still feel like I've got a wee way to go, and I'm so okay with that.
I love that, Hayley. And you've been such a positive, just ray of sunshine. Every time you come into your appointments, you're so happy. There's no, for some clients, there can be a lot of anger, especially towards a practitioner, because it's taken them so long to get unwell. For some reason, the practitioner is meant to be able to get them better overnight. And when they can't, there's resistance. It's not working. But the problem, good and bad, with natural health is when you're actually healing your body and learning the skills to empower you to be the best health practitioner going forward, it does take different amounts of time for every single client. Like, I love the fact that when children come in, it's very fast because they don't have the baggage that me and you have of all these years of not looking after our health. So we can turn it around really fast and do something different. And so it's really inspiring. So Hayley, from just taking stock of your health, where do you think you're at with it now? Like, what is the future? Like, what are you most excited about going forward in your health journey with me still to come?
I'm looking forward to really sorting out my liver, getting that functioning properly. I've still got blotchy skin and things like that as my liver's still processing. I'm looking forward to having even more energy, and feeling like there's less brain fog and all those things, and getting the motivation. Like, for me, exercise is still like, That's
coming for you on Monday, just so you know. I'll give you a sneak peek of your Monday appointment.
Great, that's good. Yeah,
I've planned out the hour appointment.
Well, I'll tell you what, if it's as subtle and easy as the food stuff has been, then I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, you'll get me there eventually. And I think the thing is that I used to always exercise for a chore, like I exercise because I'm supposed to lose weight. And for me, I'm not losing weight. It's like, it just seems to be, I'm like, I can't be bothered because there's no point doing this. So to look at it from a different perspective of, I'm doing it because I'm enjoying it, and my body's actually healthy and it needs that physical movement. That's kind of the next step, I think, as well.
Which I found real revelation. Actually, Hayley, you really taught me something too. Well, all clients do, and I feel really grateful for every client as you teach me different things. But when you said that to me, we had that conversation, you're like, I've only ever exercised. Like, for me personally, I've only ever exercised for enjoyment. So I feel very blessed and lucky that that is my take on exercise and my lenses, because that's how I grew up in a family where we were active and we just did it as family fun activities. To be honest, we had no money and it was free entertainment for my parents to take us out. That was really what it came down to. So that's how they used their lack of funds. It was very much like, well, we'll just be active. It's free. But when I had that conversation with you and you're like, but Shelley, you didn't quite say, but Shelley, but it was very much around, but I used exercise to lose weight. And when I didn't lose weight, what's the point in exercising? And I was like, I totally get that. Like, as a practitioner, I had a total shift. And I was like, okay, this is about retraining Hayley, retraining the brain, retraining the reward system, like her endorphins, what she's expecting to get out of this, and totally reframing it for you so it's a totally different experience.
And that's something I love about you, Shelley, is that you don't just look at the health, you look at the mindset stuff, and the beliefs around, why you got where you are, and, the blocks and things that come with it. So, yeah, bring it on.
And Hayley, just one final thing. What are you most scared about or excited about doing the 21-day detox? Well, what made you do it in the first place, to be honest?
I really want to have a chance to sort out my liver in a decent way. Yeah, I am scared because it's the first time I've ever restricted my food or done anything like this in 20-something years. My husband is completely, like, I tell him about the smoothies or shakes, and he's like, he just gets completely angry. So I've got a little bit of a anti-house. Imagine if we're in lockdown for 3 weeks and I'm making smoothies. This is going to be interesting. I'm a little bit worried about being hungry, but you tell me I won't be. But I'm someone who gives everything a go. So it'll be interesting if to interview me at the end of the 21 days, Shelley, to see if I'm, sitting here going, holy hell, give me a steak, or if I'm like, let's do it again.
Day 12, I want the animal protein. Like, I'm counting down for day 12. So without a doubt, you definitely will. But just as a reframe for anyone listening, the shakes aren't about depriving yourself. It's not actually about calorie restriction. It's how much goodness can you put into your liver? Like, how much goodness do you want at the moment to support your liver? Like, do you want to go all in? And this is not just me. This is a typical session with a client where I start turning into this coach. But do you want that goodness for your liver? Like, why would you not want to go all in with it?
I love that reframe.
Every ingredient in those products, like, I'm not just giving you shakes. If we were just giving shakes, I'd tell you to go downtown. I don't even believe in that. But every single ingredient is to heal your gut, to give you the best energy, to give you all your minerals, to give you your fiber, to bind with your hormones, to pull out toxins, to give you the best poos possible. So it is not deprivation, because I wouldn't be doing it if it was, because I 100% hate that and don't believe in it personally. It is 100% just feeding your liver all the goodness that it needs.
I love that reframe. That's awesome.
So then it changes. And the other thing that I'd really say, which I think you'll enjoy too, is it's really hard when you're getting your health back. Like, when people come into clinic, it's a private journey, which is totally fine, like, as it is. And people don't necessarily want to share all the ups and downs. And when I first started and I thought about doing Facebook groups for clients and all the rest of it, they hated it from a confidentiality point of view. But when it's this detox, people get on board. Like, on the Facebook group, people love sharing recipes, asking questions, doing live updates. So you get this energy and this support, and kind of like a family that you don't necessarily get along the way with the rest of your health journey.
I'm looking forward to that too. That'll be great.
Yes,
and we had a call last night on Zoom. It was fun. Getting information, getting my little list of things I can and can't do. I'm like, yeah, I'm all in. I'm 100%.
Well, is it can or can't? Is it loading up your liver or decreasing the burden on your liver?
I'm helping my liver. Yeah.
So you can and can't do whatever you like, but it's preferable that you help your liver out as much as possible.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it, Shelley.
And one more thing, Hayley, because you can't walk out of a session with me without some homework, whether it's an interview that you're doing for the kindness of me and my clients, you get some gold. Have you done your stress speaker yet?
No, I haven't actually. No.
Well, I haven't seen them submitted in, so I'm very disappointed.
Are we supposed to submit them in? I missed that bit.
No, I'm just telling you on the spot. You can fill yours out for your own benefit. And if you want to share it in the group, you can too, because it's quite interesting.
Alrighty, sounds like a plan.
Hayley, any lasting words for everyone?
Can't wait to see you next, Shelley. Always look forward to our appointments.
Lockdown, boom, Monday. I can't wait, Hayley.
All right.
Thank you so much, Hayley. Have a lovely Friday, and the sun's all gone.
I know, it's shocking, isn't it?
I know.
So glad I found you.
I wore my summer dress so that I'd be all yellow and bright for you, Hayley, because I thought that matched your beautiful attitude. And now it's going to be freezing cold.
It's all right. You can keep your jacket on. See you, gorgeous.